time we just play with the paper pumpkin kit. And I like to just share how I get started with ideas and play around. So I don't aim to use everything up. I love to just talk about, to me, the purpose of a kit is to get all these things that go together, and they're beautiful to make just the way they are, or use them as a fun jumping off place to see what else you can do with them. And now that's what I do, and I give myself a limited time. And but I did want to point out this month's kit, the Daisy Dreams. Look at these pretty envelopes and card fronts, and look how pretty this is. Let's see, this might be a little too close. So what I do is I just start with spreading everything out, and I just did this a really short time ago, and then I started just placing a few things together that I thought would go together. I still have all of this that I could work with. Love all these pieces at the end. I just set those right there. And I did want to point out that these are beautiful envelopes. They also would be beautiful cards. I think each of these envelopes has just lovely parts you can use. You can fussy cut too. I think there's no end to what you can do. I think the cards with this kit were beautiful, but they're actually a little fancier than my taste. I'm really more of a clean and simple stamper. So if anything, I tend to simplify kits. I realize this is really getting back on the track after traveling for 6 weeks. This is my first time sitting down to just play. So I missed that. I didn't do last month's kit because it was just totally fun. So let's just get started. So first I wanted to point out this, of course, will stand alone, and I just made one card with this. Good, I'm so glad to see people here. Hi, Amanda, Anna, Susan, Lynn. Oh, it's so fun. It's fun. Amanda said she did some alternatives and got 12 cards from the kit. I don't know how many I have here. We should count at the end. And I'm not using up all of the stuff. So I have fun playing with this, and then I give the rest of the kit to Luann, who helps me, because she keeps the she plays with all the rest and does stuff. So just do what she does. So I just do this initial thing. So when I first saw this, of course, I want to use both sides, but I took this and cut it down, and then this is on Mossy Meadow. The only thing I add to the kits is cardstock. I don't add any of the other things you can do with it. So I keep things really simple. So this is going to be a card front, and this is one of my basic go-tos when the card itself is just lovely. I haven't even made more out of this, but I can see all kinds of things being done with this. So this is the center point, cut smaller, cut in halves, quarters, gatefold cards. I can see a lot with this. I don't think I'm going to have time to get to all that. So, this would be my base card. And now to step this up, I'm going to take this one and pop it up. I love that feel of a little accent piece there. So I'm going to take this and pop that up. And then I am going to, you can see I cut off part of this, part of the other side. So I'm going to set that one aside. And I have my Mossy Meadow cut the long way. I am going to, guesses on what I'm doing? In case some of you probably already know, I'm going to score at 5.5 and at 2 3/4. I'm making one of my favorite kits. Yes, it's going to be a pop-up. And with this being the whole size, I think, how cool is this? So I'm just going to attach this to the front. I also love how you can take anything and just add more layers. If you ever want to step up a card, this would be pretty, cut a little smaller and then having both a yellow and a green. Okay, so this is going to be my card front, and I actually could add a little something, but I'm actually going to put this on the inside. Oh, I could have done this whole piece there. I'm thinking I'm going to have to add well, no, I'm not going to add because it's going to stand like this. I'm actually going to add back here when I'm going to do the writing. I like to do this because this is going to be a pop-up card. So then this is going to, an easel card like that. But I think this will be really pretty. So depending on how far I want this to be, I'm going to pop this up. I actually think I'm going to pop it up double here. So make sure it just stands. We'll see. It can always undo things. You know, as I said, I am playing here. These are not finished. These are rough ideas, kind of put into piles. And what I find helpful is to just spread out all of the supplies and start looking at and arranging things kind of wherever I think they might go together. I also do not have any gems added, but I think I would on this. I think this could use some sparkle gems. I think this is a really pretty card. And you see it closes. It looks like just a very simple card. I could also put words here. Thank you for always being there for me. What else? Let's see. Enjoy your special day, but they don't really fit. But you see how I could do 2 words? And I will say, this kit comes with the Lost Lagoon, but I like to use black for the sentiments. So I have black here, and I did not use, because I didn't use, but there's great stamps with this set. Let me see if I have anything else. Sweetest birthday wishes. And I don't think they really go, but I could add something in here. So I can think about that. Not, is anyone else not hearing anything? I'm having trouble here. Are other people hearing it? Okay, I want to make sure. Somebody said they're not hearing anything, and I just want to make sure. Do you have your mic on? Can anyone hear me now? Oh my goodness, let me see. Can you hear me now when I have this on? Now you can hear me. But when I switch to this, now can you still hear me? I hear you, just echoes. But some of you hear me. I'm going to keep going because I have no idea what else to do with this. Okay, very poor sound. Is everyone saying it's very poor sound? I have no idea. You know, welcome home. Now I should be back to regular things, but it's whenever. I'm going to turn mine up, and they said off and on. And Tim's phone is not plugged in. We took care of that issue. According to mine, it's working. So I don't know what to do other than, otherwise, join me for silent movies. It's just not the same, is it? Okay, so that's going to be card number 1. Okay, so I am getting several different ones. Okay, then another one, and I will say I did love, I went ahead and put this one together just now to make sure I could do it. I love what they did with this, but I took this. This comes like this. So here's another one. I took that out, so that aside. And I used the dimensional strips because I wanted to lift it up. And I know they had the flower going across, but I thought I would do something different. Now I have to see if I can remember. I thought I would do a couple flowers like this, and then a bumblebee. Okay, so we're going to do this. It does sound like an echo. Do you think I should start over? I do not know what to do. Let me get Tim's phone and make sure it's shut off. Oh, does this make a difference? I said, oh, trying to learn all this, it didn't show an X on my screen. Now I hope it's better. We just have to fast forward to this. I have to put a note on. Keep watching. Sound gets better. But I would love to have somebody tell me that this is better. Perfect. Okay. So much to keep in mind about tech. And then I was just going to do this. So it's kind of like a little, I think this is really cute. And then I don't know if, to me, I think I'd put the word, well, let's just go ahead and put this together. So I'm going to use glue dots because I'm only wanting to connect it on these parts. Okay, so I'm going to let that stand up. And then I think this one, I will actually, I think I need the smaller. We'll do this. Okay, so now I'm glad it's working. So much to keep in touch with. Okay, I'm going to put this on. That's a little off there, but it's interesting. I'll leave it. Okay, and then if I put this guy flying in here,
I think anything with the bee, these are just going to be also some fun spring cards. Okay. So I think I'm going to leave this because I like things kind of simpler. So I'm going to set that aside. So this is the next idea. And then I'm going, let's do this one. I just pulled this off because if we look at these again, so we have this extra circle here. And this is one of the envelopes. Let's see if I can find. So I did the cutting, so you wouldn't have to watch me do all the cutting. But you see how this is this right here? So I took this and I'm putting it on Lost Lagoon, which I chose because that's the color of ink they're giving you. And I think this really looks pretty together. So I'm going to attach this. Whoa, I'm going to get an extra little seam on that one. That'll be interesting. And then my thought was my words will go here. And then I was going to do the large flowers. So I still have 3 accents, but I really liked how these went together and how there's this little one. So I still have a couple more little ones. I think they could also be cut out and put across a page. And then I was going to put this across. I think I'm going to have to figure out what gems to use at the end too. I thought this looked just a little too plain. Let's see, this side has, okay, how does this look? I actually think that does look good, doesn't it? Maybe I'll put that over. But I wasn't going to necessarily add a bee. But I think I'll stick with that. And then that looked a little plain. So then I thought, well, let's just stick that under. So that'll work. And then this probably still needs some gems. Okay, so we'll put this together. So, I'm just going for a whole variety of looks. So I'm going to put this on and then we will pop that up. I'm looking outside and it is such a lovely sunny day. So I think a walk is next on my list. Have you guys been out walking today? Just feels like so good to do that. Oh, good. Okay, I'm going to put that on. And then this one, let's see, I'm going to, okay, this is looking a little plain to me. I have to think about it. So maybe, see, these are works in progress. I may set it aside. And what do you think? B or no B? Yeah, I think it needs the B. And I was going to pop this one up, but I think this is going to get in the way if I do. So I'm not going to pop it up. Okay, I'm going to just put this on this way. But I need my little mat. So you can see I'm really kind of talking through as I go. I hope this helps because I'm going to encourage you to talk to yourself. But I think this is kind of the playfulness of looking at a kit, like not... because usually I have things all thought out if I'm teaching a class or something. Ooh, and I kind of bent that, but we're gonna still make it happen. And we're gonna see how this goes on. Okay. That'll work. It'll work. And I can use a little eraser and get that part off. Okay, and then I think I will pop this guy up with the little ones. Yes, I guess somebody said some grass cut under the flowers. Oh, okay. Where am I going to find some grass cut? Okay. First, I better put this on. And I think it is just fun playing with these spring cards now. I'm kind of thinking, enjoy your special day is a little crooked. We'll leave it. So if I have him, is there a place that has little grass? These I was cutting apart, and maybe there's little ways to put little grass under here. I have no idea this will work, but since it was suggested, let's play with the idea. I love playing and not caring if things turn out or not, because that's also how we learn and how we learn what we like. So see, I could cut apart some little things like this and add some grass under here. Tell me if you think it's worth the pursuit of doing that or not. So if I did that, and then another one over here, is that too messy? What do you thought? I'm going to think about that one, but any ideas on that one? Or maybe it needs more bees. I feel like this card needs something, but I like the idea of it. So we'll go with there. We'll go with that, and then we'll keep on going. And then, of course, there'll be pictures of each of these on my blog. Okay, let's take another one. Then I took another one of these, which I thought, okay, instead of doing the whole, we're going to put those side by side. So this is what I was thinking here. And I brought in lemon lime twist. We're going with a really bright color here. You know, when I make a bunch of cards like this, I love to lay them out too. And then I kind of group them in my mind, if nothing else, about which ones I like, which ones I don't. You know, you can kind of rank them. And I think that really helps in kind of developing your sense of style. You know, what does look good. So what I did for this one, which I thought was just kind of fun. Let's see, I'm going to put that up there so you see those colors. You can see I took these apart. And let's see how they're going to work. And I thought it would be fun to just place these on this background and have this kind of bright, I don't know, this kind of bright spring card. It might be too much, but it also might be fine. This one is a little crooked, so is that one. So I'm going to leave it. Okay, I actually like that. That feels springy to me. We'll go ahead and do it. And the honeycomb stamp on the circle. Oh, that would be a really good idea on that last circle. I love that idea. Okay, this I am going to just go ahead and place these on. Now, over in the Backporch Stampers, we'd love to see what your alternatives are because we all learn from each other. I always say ideas beget ideas. We're all more creative together than separately. So let's see, we'll do this one. And I think these paper pumpkins is just so improved over time. I really look forward to getting them and just knowing that this is going to be playtime. So I just kind of leave it as keeping to this and just kind of talking about how we design. Okay, I think that's fun. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking this is up a little too high. So now I'm going to move it. I'm going to move it down a little bit more. And I still have the words. Okay, that's better. When I add some gems, I think that will be here. Put one flower on the words. Oh, that would work too. I'm trying to decide because I've got 3 and they say 3, but look at, I have this little one. Oh, that's cute. I like that. Good idea, Sharon. I love that we're sharing. And it is so fun to be home, you guys. A twine bow would also be great. And I would call that under, if I added some gems or something. Okay, I like this. I like the bright color. It feels very, very springy to me. Diane said it's great to be here. I'm so glad to be home and able to do this and have you guys joining us. So I still have a stack of mail and a bunch of things to get through, but we're getting there. Okay, then there are a couple of these. And I love, as I said, doing simple things with these. So the first thing I decided to do was this. I started just building up a card. So this says thank you, but I did think these would make sense. So first I'm going to put this on, and this I'm going to pop up this time. So you can see how I kind of laid things together and thought, well, this is what I think about doing. I have way too many little tops of these. And let's see how many of these I can put on here. Okay, that's going to do it. So this, I just stamped words from the set. And I'm going to put this on. Okay, so onto the floor. You can vacuum it. So now here's my thought. I was going to put it on here, but I know it needs something extra. So I was going to pop this up, and then I was going to put some of these, but I'm not sure if they should go in between the yellows or on the bottom under everything. Any thoughts here? But I thought this would be a fun way to use these and to add some extra. And does 2 make sense, or is that too irregular? Do you think you need 3, or do you think, let's see, if I did a third, yeah, this is a fun paper pumpkin. And I thought, if I did a third, is that like too much, or does that, I don't know, I kind of like 2. By the time I see reactions, it's probably a little hard. So I'm going to go ahead and just put these on. So I'm going to put a little there. That'll hold that. I just need to hold it while I put the other on. One down here. Hold this one on. And then I can go ahead and put these on. 2, 3, we have a soul. See, you know what's fun? If I was going to do 2 of these, I might do the other one differently. And I thought, but again, it is just playing with all these things. And I have so much left over that I didn't even begin to finish up. Okay, now that'll get attached. And now I can put this on. And I think it just adds that little extra. It just kind of makes a card just feel a little special. And I put that in the middle, and I can always come back and, add if I want. But I like that. It's quite simple, but I like that. Oh, and we can always think about a bee. So what do you think? What do you think? Bee or no bee? Add a bee. Let's see. Cute. Okay. I think let's add the bee. We'll add the bee on this one. There are a bunch of bees. And, in the stamp set, there are bees and stuff too. I just hadn't used the stamp set. So that's going to be that one. Oh, that's fun. I like that one. Next, this is a card design that I saw. Oh, no, I saw it somewhere once, and I've used it many times since. When I'm using anything long and narrow like this, I love the idea of using squares. Sometimes I'll put them, if they're smaller, squares like this. Sometimes I'll back them like on a yellow. Today, we're putting them on like this. So it will be that same thing. I'll start with these 2. But here, I might as well do all of these. And then I put one up there, one down here. And again, the words are from the kit. I'm just using the same words from the kit. You don't need to watch me stamp. I'm going to put, see, I think I'm going to, let's see. I'm going to look at this and decide. This is going to go like that. So, yeah, I think I might put it just like that. I was debating even popping this one up. So I'm going to pop this up. Ooh, let's do that. Okay. We change things as we move along. I'm going to pop this one up. And I'll put this, okay. And then when I put this on, this is going to be popped up. But that'll work. So do you see right here, this is already popped up. So I'm going to put just a little thing right there. And then on these, I am going to put, let's see, those are kind of finished here. I definitely use all the edges, but I cut a whole bunch of them at one time. Don't want to use my good scissors for that. And let's see this one down here. We'll see if this works. So when my blog post goes up later, you'll see if I changed anything, if I added. Joan says she always starts with a plan in mind and always changes it. Yes, that's what this is like. And that's another reason I often say make 2 cards when you think of one card, because when you make a second, you might think of other things to try. And the thing that's fun is it doesn't matter which one you like better. It's all about experimenting and learning. Now I want that to be attached there, and these 2, dear, I'm putting it too high. Let's see if I can fix it. If I can't, we'll live with it and put something else below. We're all easy about this, so it's all good. I'm going to put it right there. Okay, I like that. I'm very happy with that. Now, if we want to be, is that too ordinary, like too balanced? Is that too, is that better? No bee. We came back healthy. We did not come back sick at all, which is wonderful after all. I often, whenever we travel, come home with a terrible cold for a couple of days. I always call that re-entry. But this time I didn't even have that. Well, okay. What are your thoughts? Do you see how fun this is to just kind of play around? To me, this looks too balanced. So if I'm going to add one, I'm going to add one here in the middle. Okay. I'm going to do that. And I love that it's almost spring. I mean, I look at today and I'll sit outside in this kind of weather, So, so anyway, I think that's fun. And you can see how my cards are they're much simpler cards, but I'm getting a lot out of them and I really like it. So I'll set that aside. Then I took another one. Now this is one of the blue bases. Let's see, I haven't finished this one either, but I do love these popped in like that. So just know that I'm doing something different just to create some different looks. And I'll have to think of because this will frame something else. I have to work on that, but I'm just going with the ideas that come to me. So it's not with all of them. So let's see. I was thinking about doing this, and then we have these long stretches like this. And I was just thinking that looked okay. I think that looks pretty and kind of a little plainer than something. So we'll go with this. We'll put this on. And then let's see, I like to make sure the parts you see. Okay. And then on this one, I think we can just put some across here. If I put this across, you can see I haven't even used all my words. This one might not be finished yet either, but now would this one work with a B? Yeah, I think so. And I don't, I look at this and think, I don't think it needs any words. I like the B. We'll do the B. And if I decide this is too simple, what I would choose to do is cut this a little smaller and layer it on green. I would add a layer because I actually like this pretty simple. Okay, and then I have one more idea that I just had in my mind that I'm going to see if we can pull this off, because this is another of my favorite go-tos. And I love doing that with paper pumpkin because it just reminds us it's totally fine to have favorite go-tos. I am going to copy this and make, I'm going to let this come down to the middle there. I'm doing 1 inch. And then I'm flipping it over and I'm doing the other side at 1 inch. And then I'm going to close these two. If you watch me at all, you know how familiar this card is. And then I have 2 choices with this. I can just create a picture here, or I can turn it very easily into an easel card. So I'm going to do another easel card. So I'm going to just, let's see, we'll do 2 1/8 there. And we'll see how this works. Oh, Karen, I love that age. She said that circle that we were using does look like a blurred view of a garden. It does. That fits. Yes, it does. I was saying before it was kind of meant to kind of like be like space or something, but it definitely looks like that. Okay, so now here's what I have. So what I'm going to do with this is, well, since I have all this paper here, I'll cut from scratch here. I'd probably use some envelopes if I were trying to be really saving here, but since I'm just trying this out. Now I need this to go at 3/4. I actually prefer to have it go this way. So if I do this and I go 3/4, because I folded the edges down at 1 inch, so now I want this to be 3/4. And going this way, I'll want them to be 4. Okay, so I'm going to put these 2 on the sides. And then we're going to see about decorating here. Okay, we're going to do 1 there. 1 there. And actually, if this is going to go here, I think I'd want this here too. Does that sound right? Unless here, well, let's build up here from. I'm going to put some words here, so this can be popped up. Let's decorate this part first. I thought I would just use, we have so many of these, and I just thought it would just be fun to make this. So I'm just going to attach here, but make it so it spills out over the top. Does that make sense? So we're going to just start placing in some of these. I'm gonna put some across the top here. And this is going to be my little daisy garden. Because I did see we had all these daisies, and I thought, well, I'll do one since I'm not putting a lot on any one thing. I will, and if I want some smaller ones, I would cut some of these apart. Let's see what else we have here. Do I have? There's a bunch of sizes here. Here's a little one, but you know what? I like some of these sizes too. And since I probably won't use that, let me go ahead and cut one of these. Then I'll, we'll just do something else with the rest. I'll do one of these just because we can. And I'll put that on. But I love the idea that you just have all these daisies to work with. I think they're pretty fun. Okay, so I'm going to hide that. That's not so good because I've got the blue there, but it's okay. I'm going to do this so you don't really notice it. Okay, does that work? I'm going to put that in. Let's put this one off the top. I think we're going to do the whole thing. I'm going to do the whole thing in flowers. That one should probably go last so that I can use it to tuck in any little pieces that we need. Okay, so we're going to put that one in there. And this one could probably go right in there. I would, you could plan this out a little better, but I think that's going to work. And then I need one more over here. And this is a little big, but we'll use it. Otherwise, I would cut another one out of that piece I started cutting because I don't want them to stick too far behind. Okay, so this is just going to be a little daisy. Now that might be too much. Maybe I should have just stuck with 3, but I like the general idea of it. So let's put this on some of this paper. So again, let's cut this about, we'll cut it about there. Oh, did you see that went rolling? Set that aside. Yeah, this is a fun kit, isn't it? And I hope it helps you just see putting your stuff out and just playing. If you can think in a group, I can't think in a group. I can't. It's so funny because I can't do things like this in a group. But if you can, this would be a fun one to do where you all just work on some ideas. But of course, you're sharing your spaces. But okay, I am going to measure that. That must be 3.5 inches. So I will make this 3 1/4 and see if that works good in here. Yes, beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to put this on. So it kind of has that little look all over. And then now this doesn't have to be pressed a little there, so it's going to stay up. But then I'm going to put sweetest birthday wishes here. And then this will need, yeah, we need a bee in there, right? We need a bee in the middle of all this. Let's see where we would put him. Whoa. What do you think? I think it needs a bee. Okay, so we're just going to add a bee. Could also add a bee down here. Let's see if I have, I have more bees. I could add another bee down here. Well, let's do that. That'll be fun. And if there's a third place, we could do that. And then this one will be popped up again. And let's see if I have another. Okay, sweetest birthday wishes. I'm going to do that. So all of this is just playing. And I'm going to do 2 of these too, because I like it to be easy to pop up the smaller piece, which will still need a little pressing, but I think this will be a cute idea. There, and then I'm going to put that right there. And this is going to go right here. Now, does it need a third bee or is that fine? That kind of seems like it's fine to me because we've got a ton of flowers. But how fun is that? So a cute little birthday card. Yeah, Colleen says anything that needs honeycomb needs the bees. I think that's true where they look a little stranded. My understanding is that no, once a kit is gone, you're always getting the next month's kit. And all kits are are fun to play with. You know, even I find even if they're not totally my style, like this was really too busy for me in the things, but I really loved just playing with them. And you put your things out, they're always just really fun. And sometimes we can get refills for them later, but again, they're for people that already have paper pumpkins. So let me know if you're interested in trying paper pumpkin, but I love this. So I made, let's come back here 1 second and we'll see. So we did one, and see that this will go in the mail like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. I did 8 alternatives just in this short time of playing, you know, because that's what this is for. This is kits are playtime for us to have fun with. Yeah, the refill kits, thank you, Debbie, for saying that, are available for, when they're available, they're for subscribers. So that is a plus. And did you, you can subscribe and just, you know, just do the months that you want. I always have to figure out how it works. But anyway, thanks for playing along. I think I like taking this one opportunity to just talk about how I talk to myself about what might go together, what else we can do. There's no rhyme or reason. I have so much stuff left over. I have just lots and lots of stuff. And look at all these. I mean, look at this. I have all these left over. And I think that's what's just kind of amazing, because this is like, I could make a whole bunch more cards out of this. So I think it's a really good value for the money. And then it has the 2 stamp sets. You get the honeycomb, a whole bunch of words. Anyway, thanks for watching, and so glad to have you in our life. So, and there each month I try to do paper pumpkin pajamas. So thank you.